Hi, Derek here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm just going to put this up here on screen. You can see what's what. Yeah, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm just going to do an edit of one of my dog pictures here. Why would I edit a dog picture? Well, you take pictures of animals, people, any type of portrait at all, and if you're going to give that to somebody as a gift, as a print, as a framed image, it's going to look its best. Quick look at this one, you're not going to give that one out. Now guys, these are all raw files straight out of the camera, so nothing been done to any of them. The one thing that if I give you any tip at all when you're doing pictures of your pets, people don't really like to look at the body of a dog running or that, although they do make decent pictures. They want a picture of their dog's face, or at very least make sure your pet fills the frame. Now this composition is not really great. The dog was lying there having a snooze. This is just a couple of half kind of grab photos. The one tip I can give you, that above all else, make sure you get the eyes in focus, and be careful what lens choice you use. A dog's got a long face, and if you get too shallow a depth of field, you might get the eyes in focus and a blurry nose, which can look good if it's a whole face or a whole head sort of that's going to fill your frame, but if any more than that, then you kind of just got to watch what you do. This image here, zoom into the nose is in focus, but more than anything else you need to get the eyes in focus. The eyes need to be sharp. How can you tell if you're sharp? Well, good reflection here. I can see the eyelashes on both eyes. Out of these, and you should be able to do it every time. Again, eyelashes are sharp, and that one, and that one. I mean that's 5 photos. Okay, the dog's not moving, I'm moving, but each and every one you need at least a sharp eye. And this is the one that I'm going to edit here. I quite like. It's just where she's just lifted her head. On these ones there, the leg, that's how she sleeps. That's her natural lie. She puts one leg out to the side like that. So if you're going to catch your dog kind of naturally doing what she does, that's how mine's would lie. Physically had to lift the paw over, and she's kind of wondering what I'm doing after that. So it's a little bit better. She's also got a paw underneath her, which I can't get to. So, but we went with this, and this one here where she's just lifting her head. It's just that little bit different, and it's filling the frame. So this is the one I'm going to edit. And before I even bother going into Photoshop, this is what I check first. Nice sharp eye, nice sharp eye. Now while I've got this zoomed in, what would you edit on this? Well, you see all these little flecks here and here. There are bits of fluff off the carpet. She's been out for a run. There's maybe bits of grass in there. There's little bits of, there's a kind of stray hair. So that's what I would be cleaning up here. And she's got beautiful eyes. They're lovely in focus, and maybe just enhance them a little bit. So let's go into Photoshop with this one. There's no clipping either side. It's a black dog and there's no clipping, but I quite like to get a kind of black point. I'm not going to get a white point, or if I do, the only white point I would get would be in the kind of eyeball, I would think. Pull, and no matter how far up I go, I'm not getting a proper white spot, and that's just the colour in the carpet. It's not taking up. So take that back down. Definitely want a black spot. Black point, sorry. So again, we're holding the Alt key down on the keyboard, left clicking on this, and there's already black there, but it's going to get a little bit more, and that just gives you a little bit more contrast, and we like a little contrast. Put clarity up, pull the image up just a wee touch. Going to put the clarity up just a little bit, a tiny wee bit, +12 there, and I may bring the shadows up just a little bit as well. Take that back down, and always hit the P on when you're in Photoshop, sorry, in the camera raw module. If you hit the letter P on your keyboard, it'll give you a before and after of what you've done in Photoshop. Again, zoom in, have a look what the changes you've just done, what they're actually doing in your image. Hit letter P. And you can see we've just made that a little bit sharper, a little bit more contrasty. So we're going to take that now into Photoshop. Other colours here I'm not too bothered about. Okay, so here we are, we've opened it up in Photoshop. I'll just take that off the crop tool. Now, crop tool is a good thing. I'm going to straighten this image up a little bit, but my main edit here, if you like, would be the fur and her eyes. So that's what we'll do. I'll speed this up just a little bit so you don't have to sit and watch me. But what we will do is we'll take our tool. I'm using a pen and tablet. I find it easier. And options in here would be, I mean, this is a spot healing brush, and to use a spot healing brush, you've got proximity match, sample all layers. It could be sample just current and layer below, but I've got sample all layers. You want to have this here, content aware, normal, and your brush size you can increase or decrease by using the square bracket keys on the keyboard next to the letter P. And to make the image bigger or smaller, I'm holding the control key down and hitting the plus and minus on the numerical keypad on my keyboard. And then to move the image about, I'm holding the spacebar down, and we'll just move it about to where I want it. So the first tool I'm going to try will be the spot healing, and it's going to do a really good job. The only other tool I would try with that would be the healing brush tool. I've got spot healing and healing brush. And back when this was introduced, I think it was CS5, it might have been CS6, but when this was first introduced, all you could do with it was like individual spots. But now, a few years on and another couple of versions of Photoshop on, you can actually use it like a brush. You don't have to just use a spot. Before it would just be a case of you dabbed an area and that was it, that's all you could do, but it's much more adaptable now. Okay, for this part of the video, I didn't see any point in letting you see this in slow motion, so I speeded this up. In theory it probably took 2 minutes to go around all these little white spots, bits that look like dandruff, bits of grit, bits of grass, this hair there that we're just removing now. And the spot healing tool, absolutely ideal for it. It's a black dog, it's leaving no traces of smudge or something that possibly a clone stamp could have done. So yeah, great tool. Versatile now, much more versatile now than it used to be. And here back to the audio that we originally recorded with the video. I speeded that up, hope that didn't go too fast, and you can see what I was doing. If you turn this layer off and on, you can see you've made quite a difference just by taking a few minutes to get rid of that fluff and dust and just all these little imperfections. Now there's a whisker here, and this is what I'm saying. Before this tool, you just dabbed onto your surface and that was it. That's how you got rid of something. But now we've got a couple of hairs here. This one here might actually be on the floor. Oh dear. So we can essentially just draw along it or paint across it. Get rid of that quite easily. And that's fine. That's all I would do with that. If it'll go back out, you're probably not seeing very much of anything. The other tool we can use, healing brush tool. That's the spot healing. Right below that in the same flyer, the healing brush tool. Again, adjust the size of the brush using the square bracket keys, and just this little bit of fluff here. So I want to keep the colour and texture of the carpet, and I'm just going to paint over that. And it's a slightly different procedure. It just lets you paint over things rather than dot and dab, and it's just probably a better way of doing some things than others. What I would say about it though is be aware of your light. If it's light here, this square here for instance, it's lighter this side than that side. I know that because there was a flash, full flash bounced off the ceiling, so that's how I know that this is a little bit lighter here. And it colour matches perfectly, but it can have issues when there's a light transition, so just bear that in mind. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at the eyes, and our eyes are beautiful and clear, and if we go really close in, closer than you'll ever go in on a photo. Beautiful and clear, we see all our eyelashes and stuff. So the only thing I could do with this eyes here are enhance this brown sort of area of the eye, and the middle, let's try and sharpen up this reflection, because you've got light to almost white there, and it's almost black within there as well. Nice contrasty colours. So the way I do this, we'll use the brush tool, select B for brush, and you've got lots of selection tools, and a lot of people, when they're doing eyes, human or pet, they'll get a selection tool and they'll try and draw out, and I like to do my eyes in two parts. I'll do both of them sort of together. Let's put this right in the middle of the screen, and I'll make it a little bit bigger so you can see a bit better what I'm doing. Too big. Right, we'll make it that size, that's fine, we can see that there. I get the brush tool and I use the quick mask tool. Now, get the quick mask, you either press down here or hit Q on your keyboard. If you look up here, you'll know when you're in the quick mask mode. Hit Q, hit D, sorry, hit D first on your keyboard to get the default colours. Then hit Q, and up here at the top of the layer it's telling you you're in the quick mask mode. And all I need to do now is paint into the eye. We're just going to paint all the coloured part of both eyes, essentially. And I'm being a little bit haphazard with my selection here. So if you hit X on the keyboard, it'll reverse what you're doing with your brush. So now I'm removing some of the stuff that I've just put on, and that's a better shape there. Hit X again and I'll apply the same over on this eye. So you can do lots of different ways to make a selection on the eye. This isn't necessarily the best one. It's one I use. And because I've got a pressure sensitive pen in my hand, I can just gently lift the pressure and I get a smaller nib on my brush. So that's me got all that eye selected, and hit Q again, and that's turned that into a selection. If I wanted to add any more to it, I could, but I'm quite happy with that. So we'll go down to here, adjustment layers, and I'm going to put a curves adjustment layer, and I'm going to go into the RGB part of it. I'm going to go into red, and if I just take this tool here, I can make the red more or less saturated, and there's red and all that. So if I go too far with it, it'll look silly. If I go to about there, it's just a tiny wee adjustment, but you see it's just enhanced the colour a little bit. Now if I change the layer blend mode to screen, it'll make it quite bright, but it takes some of the red out that I've put in. I'll take it all the way down, and that's her own colour that's in there. But brighter. And if I wanted to go back in here and add just a little bit more red, if that was my aim, again, go back to this tool here, and that'll just let me drag up or down. And you'll see, look at where the little marker is going to tell you where I am within that layer. So if I want to bring the shadows in there up to a bit more red, and I quite like that. We can always reduce the opacity of the layer, so quite happy with that. And I'm going to do the exact same again now for the inside of the eyes. So again, hit B for being on the brush tool, hit, as long as you're on a layer to make your selection, hit Q for the quick mask, and it will tell you again up here we're on quick mask. And now again I'm going to go into the middle of the eye and select all the black and the white that's in here. And you can probably hear me grating away on my board. I think I'm going to need a new stylus and these a new nib in my pen soon, but it's been good for a couple of years. So we'll just keep going around here. We'll just make sure it's all selected. I want no white left showing within the middle of that. And this is the same way I would do a human's eye. I would select the iris, the colour part first, do whatever enhancements I want to that, and then I would select the white or the brightest part later. And there's some times you'll get people with bloodshot eyes or veins in their eyes that need attention, so that's what we would do them both separate, get the lovely eyes out of it. So again, back to here. I've added a black and white adjustment, I'll just get rid of that. Hit Q again, and that's you back to your selection. Back to the adjustments, and again we're just going to go back into curves. And let's just use that same tool again. I'll go into the whiter part of the eye is there, and the darker part of the eye is there. So I want to make maybe not so much the dark part, let's make this here down a little bit. And let's go into here and go up a little bit. And we'll try it on each eye and down in the black. And then you can see the eyes look totally different. Let's just group them. Again, we'll go back to the screen blend mode. When we put on the screen, it shows you that nothing really. Actually, the screen blend mode's not as good on this with the black in it. And if we go full 100% with that, you see it's just two. I think maybe about halfway is good. I'll just go in the one eye, make the one eye bigger. You can see what's happening. That's it completely away, and you see the haze kind of in the reflection. So if I go up, it just makes it a little more contrasty. So I'm going to group these two. To group a couple of layers, highlight one, hold shift, and then click on the second. That's in both selected now, and then just hit Control and G for group, or you can do it from the bottom of the screen. I'm just going to hit Control and G, and that's in grouped. And now together I can drop the opacity even further on that adjustment. But I quite like where we're at with that. Quite happy with that. So there you go, that's how I would adjust and fix. I mean, there might be minute details in a big picture, but in a small picture, if you really fill the frame with that face, you can see there's quite a bit of a contrast, a change between the start and end of that image. And when you put this picture on Facebook or you sell to your clients, the first thing they'll say is, wow, what wonderful eyes I've got, because people want their dog's eyes to look bright. So maybe just a touch too bright on there. Let's just take it back a little touch. This eye here is a little bit brighter than that eye. Maybe just, you know, a white wall at this side of the room, it's reflected a bit more light back in there, but that looks fine to me and I'm quite happy with that. So there you go. That's how we do it. That's how we adjust the eyes on your pet pictures. But like I say, guys, right at the very start of this, try and get your eyes in focus. You get your eyes in focus, it won't matter that your ears blurred or the tip of your nose is blurred so much, or that they. And before, you know, this photo was taken not wide open. It's on an 85mm lens, an f1.2. 85mm lens. It was taken at 2.8, so it's still fairly shallow depth of field, especially for me being as close as I was to the dog. It's a prime lens, so you know I wasn't that far away to get this image, but there you go. And this is how I would crop it in now. Let's see, maybe take it to maybe take it to 5:4 or 7:5 even, if you want to put that in a wee frame for yourself. Let's see, 7:5 goes into that size. If we hold the Alt and the Shift key, we can adjust it, because I really do want the face because I've got in a ratio, it's just going to move. And maybe put it that side here actually, and that would do me right there. And then we've got the eyes on that third line, and we've got one eye on that one. And if we hit enter now, or press the tick, and we'll go full screen, and there you go. There's another portrait, another dog image, fully edited, fully ready to go. See you next time.